This past week, Parker and I did a run and gun for the next 3 episodes. And for this one, we went to the Sweetwater State Park in Lithia Springs, home of the New Manchester Manufacturing Company. If you would like this video, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell. If you would like to purchase any of the Keeping History merchandise, please follow the link in the description. And if you feel like supporting our channel, please visit our Patreon page, also in the description. Now, let's find some history. Sweetwater Creek Park is in East Douglas County, just 15 miles from downtown Atlanta. The park is named after Sweetwater Creek, which runs through it. The Cherokee people were forcibly removed from the area, and it eventually became home to the New Manchester Manufacturing Company and the mill town of New Manchester. During the Civil War, the textile mill and general store were burned down by the Union Army, and the women and children taken away and eventually sent to Louisville, Kentucky, and Indiana as prisoners of war. Originally, the New Manchester Manufacturing Company mill. This structure was constructed in 1849 as a 5-story water-powered mill for production of clothing and other materials. During the Civil War, the mill produced uniforms for the Confederate Army, until General Sherman's troops burned the building in 1864. The ruins were left unchanged until 2015, when erosion of the area made it too dangerous for visitors. Beginning in 2016, steps were taken to preserve the ruins and prolong the life of the structure, including reappointing mortar joints, adding caps on horizontal surfaces to alleviate standing water, bracing brick headers and freestanding piers, and installing new steel lintels and architectural steel plates for support where needed. The ruins reopened to visitors in the fall of 2017. In 1846, Colonel James Rodger and former Governor Charles McDonald started building a water-powered mill along Sweetwater Creek, and on December 21, 1849, the 5-story mill was in operation. McDonald and Rogers incorporated their business as Sweetwater Manufacturing Company, which made cotton, yarn, and fabric. In 1858, McDonald renamed Sweetwater Manufacturing Company as New Manchester Manufacturing Company, after the center of the British textile industry, Manchester, England. In 1860, the factory produced 700 pounds of cotton per day, which was transformed into 120 bunches of yarn and 500 yards of Ossenberg. In the summer of 1864, during the Atlanta campaign of the Civil War, General Joseph E. Johnston removed the Confederate Army across the Chattahoochee River, leaving the New Manchester factory exposed to the Union Army. On July 2, 1864, 2 divisions of the Union Cavalry under Colonel Silas Adams and Major Haviland Tompkins of the General Stoneman's personnel approached the factory with orders to shut it down and arrest all the employees. On July 9, 1864, following orders from William Tecumseh Sherman, Major Tompkins burned the New Manchester Mill and General Store. The arrested civilian mill employees were moved to Marietta and merged with other mill prisoners, forming a group of 600, all of them women and children. There were no male adult workers in the mill at the time it was captured because all able-bodied men had been called up to fight for the Confederacy in the battle raging around Atlanta. The women mill workers were charged with treason. They spent a week in holding at the Georgia Military Institute. During the week, while the women were held in Marietta, several Union soldiers allegedly committed acts of assault against their captives. The women and children were then sent by train, many to Louisville, Kentucky, and others to Indiana. In towns already overcrowded with prisoners of war, they struggled to survive. Many would die from starvation or exposure until a mill opened in 1865 that provided employment. The ultimate fates of many of these women are unknown, but the majority who survived settled in the North. Only a handful ever returned to Georgia. The mill ruins remain and are protected by the Sweetwater Creek State Park, which is funded to protect the ruins and the pristine area around it. All that remains today are the brick walls and the mill race that leads to the factory's water wheel. Sweetwater became an official state park in 1972, driven in great part by the work of the Georgia Conservancy, an environmental organization that was formed during a meeting at Sweetwater Creek in 1967. The park features wooded walking and hiking trails, the George Sparks Reservoir, a visitor center, a bait shop, and a gift shop, as well as the ruins of the New Manchester Manufacturing Company itself. The park's mission is to conserve the environment for the present and future generations through the use of various conservation methods such as a bioretention pond, solar panels, green roofs, and even a composting toilet. I hope you enjoyed this video and will join us again next week as we visit the Atlanta Prison Farm. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell. If you would like to purchase any of the Keeping History merchandise, please follow the link in the description. And if you feel like supporting our channel, please visit our Patreon page, also in the description. Always remember, every trip starts with a step, and that step, well, it starts with you.